Hey Scorpio, welcome to your September 2017 Astro Update. It's Rena here. So Scorpio, I think there's a lot of good career stuff happening, and this is a spillover from last month. Now, Mercury went retrograde in your 11th house of hopes and wishes. And by the time September rolls around, Mercury will have dipped back into your 10th house of career. So some rethinking is going on there, and it involves what it is that you are doing and aspire to do. Your reputation in the world, the 10th house, the top of the chart, with that 11th house of your long-range goals and what we call hopes and wishes, the luckiest house in the zodiac, where you do have some transits happening in Virgo. And so that can be very exciting because this means that you're able to see the bigger picture, the long range plans that you have, and perhaps even have things happen for you that kind of go along with that, because Mercury did retrograde in that 11th house. So something that was trying to manifest may have come to a standstill. And this could have been because you were like, okay, not too fast. I have to see how this is going to impact my career plans. You may be having a change of heart even about what it is that you want to do, because you see that it kind of creates a conflict between what your goals are. And let me give you an example of what that could be. Let's say that you've always felt like you were good at teaching, and so you became a teacher. And you're teaching and everything like that, but along the way, we have other dreams, right? And we have other talents that we want to explore. And you realize, maybe you were an English teacher, and you realize that you've always been good at painting, and you've always wanted to do that, and the teaching profession has changed. I'm using this example because this is something that kind of happened to me, although I never actually started the profession of teaching. But as I was studying, I realized that things had changed from when my conception of it. And something like that might have been happening in your life, where it's something that you did want to do. Maybe you've even carved a successful career in some area, but other dreams have been pulling you away from that. And so you've been kind of mulling this over. And here's what's so interesting about all of this. So Mercury goes direct on September 5th in that 10th house. And it goes back into your 11th house on the 9th. And then it goes into your 12th house on the 29th. The 12th house is a water house, just like you rule the 8th house of astrology, and you're a water sign. The 12th house is Pisces. And in Libra, now that we're talking about the universal chart versus your particular chart, you're going to be thinking about your spiritual life at that time, and you do have other supportive transits along those lines, but I'll get back to that. The reason I think this is so interesting with timing is that on the very same day that Mercury goes direct in your 10th house, Mars enters your 11th house. And this is what I'm talking about, because Mars is your drive. It's what gets you up in the morning, okay? And in the 11th house, it's like you are taking no prisoners when it comes to making your dreams come true. The 11th house is also the house of friendships and the groups that you belong to. Now, if you're in the corporate environment, I would include all of your contacts that you make through your work. So there could be, Mars sometimes indicates conflict. So there could be some kind of a clash between you and your friends. And this may be something even more associated with how you've changed. Sometimes, we really are changing and are friendships just naturally change. The best thing in that case is to have them drop off, not to have outward fights or anything like that. So if you feel like you don't get along with people that you once did, instead of like arguing about it, you can just kind of phase yourself out of their life. And that is much less overall like creating upheaval or anything like that, because it really is no crime to change, and it's part of life actually. But because you are a fixed sign, you may be trying to make some of these people see your side of things. And when they don't, you just become really frustrated, and that leads to anger. So don't, bypass the anger if that is part of your reality, and just focus on making new contacts. Because in October, there's going to be a transit of Jupiter in your sign. And it's in Libra right now. It's in that 12th house. And this is actually happening on October 11th. And so it's starting a whole new 12-year cycle for you, Scorpio, where you will find expansion possible in many different areas of your life. And that could include your circle of friends. Your whole world may open up for you. So don't fear these kinds of, little clashes that might occur, and don't get sucked into them. So what else is happening here? We have a full moon in Pisces happening on September 6th. This is your 5th house of romance. So it's also the house of creativity. So those artists, you may have incredible creative surge. The full moon is a very fertile time, so it's great for coming up with ideas. And this could even be for home business ideas. It could, if you have a home business, you may even see an uptick. The full moon is blossoming, things coming to culmination. So any kind of romance, you may take it to the next level. In some cases, you may end a romance. You may realize that you're not compatible with somebody. But this is not a marriage situation. This is more of a dating situation. The other thing that can happen is that you're maybe a platonic friend with somebody and you realize that it's love. You could also discover something about your partner because full moons can bring out secrets. So that's interesting. And so speaking of love, Venus is going into your 11th house on the 19th. So that means that from over half of the month, Venus is in your 10th house of career. Now, because Mercury retrograde affected that 10th house, something may have kind of come to a halt very briefly at the beginning of the month. And then you might see that everything just starts taking off like big time, especially around that 19th or 20th when Mercury regains its full strength. And that could be very good for anything related to your career. You can, if you're looking for a job, Venus in the 10th house can give you a certain charm that, helps you to land a position. It can also make you more successful in whatever your endeavors are career-wise, because everyone sees you in that exalted light, okay? And money could come to you. You could see an increase, a raise of some sort, a promotion maybe. But anything that advances you and due to the attraction principle. And in the 11th house, this is about making your dreams come true and possibly having the financial wherewithal to do so. I was just doing Libra's predictions, and they have this as well. Now, they have it in a different timing, obviously. But what's so interesting about this is that I had mentioned with them that I immediately flashed upon the Ace of Pentacles with the depiction that showing the hand coming out of the clouds with the gold coin. So it could be, you never know how these things will come about, and it could just be a doorway, a portal for you making your dreams come true in one way or the other. The other thing, too, about Venus in the 11th house is you may fall in love with somebody that you meet through friends or groups that you belong to. So that's pretty cool as well. So there is going to be a new moon in Virgo on the 20th of the month. And again, it's in that house of hopes and wishes. So new beginnings. And it's the day after Venus goes into that house. So perhaps there's something that you've been wanting very much so, Scorpio. And who knows, maybe your dreams will come true during September. I certainly hope so. Well, I hope that you enjoyed this. And if you'd like a private reading, right now I'm promoting my natal chart readings, which I have on sale. And I also have other types of readings available at rainamoonastrology.com. The link is below. I wish you all the best in September. Bye, Scorpio.